Welcome to Navigate STL Schools, a podcast. My name is Anastasia, and we are here today with Allison Cousins, the founder and commissioner of City League. How are you today, Allison?
I am great. Thanks for having me.
Thank you for being here. So I'm going to start you off with a question that we ask everyone on our show. What is your personal K-12 education journey?
I love this question. I knew I was set out to be an educator from very early childhood. I've always been passionate about working with kids, and I'm an athlete, and so I've always pursued the coach and teacher route, and that happened, right out of college, right out of high school. Went into my secondary education, looking at being a secondary educator, so was ideally looking to be in the 9 through 12 high school space and coach volleyball and or basketball. And then I quickly landed at a private school in Portland, Oregon. Life has its ways of rerouting. And taught for a number of years in a private school in Portland. Relocated to St. Louis in 2015 and entered the educational landscape at a charter school, high school, St. Louis College Prep, which has since closed. But that is my journey from childhood ambition to being in education all the way through landing back in St. Louis, working full-time in the education space.
So before we jump into everything, what is City League?
Great question. We are a new nonprofit, so you might not have heard of us before. City League is on a mission to develop youth through school sports and extracurriculars. So we are a nonprofit that partners with middle schools to facilitate school sports and extracurricular opportunities. Right now we have 4 programs. We have cross country, volleyball, basketball, and soccer that we are facilitating for our partner schools, and have really started out of the lack of opportunity for charter schools to have a cohesive sports organization. And so we launched in 2020, right before the pandemic. Operated 1 year within the Lafayette Preparatory Academy, and then last summer we incorporated as a nonprofit, and we are now full-fledged in programming and building the organization and establishing ourselves here in the St. Louis nonprofit ecosystem.
So wait, you partner with schools that don't have sports programs. Tell me more about that. You said like the lack of cohesive, like what does that mean?
So when I started teaching at Lafayette Preparatory Academy, it was its first full year as a K through 8. So most charter schools grow out by grade level. And my first year there was its first full year as a middle school. And so we had no athletic programming. And I went to our executive director, Susan Marino, at the time and said, what are we doing for athletics? Because these kids, they need these opportunities. And she's like, well, let's talk about that. What do you think we should do? And it ultimately landed on looking into the different options. There's MICDS Instructional League. There's a couple of rec leagues in the area, but there was nothing cohesive that collaborated specifically with schools. And in addition to that, kind of capitalized on the benefits of having a school-focused sports organization. So, serving as a tool to increase academic motivation, behavior, and leadership opportunities in school, as well as establishing a stronger school culture that is built around a lot of the, what's the word I'm looking for? Totally blanking. Okay. As well as establishing the school culture that really capitalizes on the excitement around sports. Mm-hmm. So I started talking to other charter schools who were in the same phase of growth, and ultimately not a lot of charter schools had any sort of programming, or a few had maybe 1 or 2, a basketball team or a parent-led, something, but there was nothing cohesive, and there was no umbrella organization, something that, the SLPS has from the district level that organizes it. So really the solution for our school and our program at the time was to create that and then partner with the other schools who were in that same phase to help support them grow their programs. And so that's really how it started, was identifying a problem and an opportunity that we could work together. Most charter schools exist kind of on their own islands. Mm-hmm. They're autonomously supported in terms of all of the services, and because of that, there's not a lot of opportunity for collaboration outside of programming, because everybody's really focused on serving their kids. And so City League we've identified as an opportunity to create cohesiveness around all the middle schools in St. Louis, because that's not really happening right now in a lot of ways. At a school or at a student level, a lot of the leaders are working together, a lot of the staff members are working together, because ultimately we all have the same mission, as developing these kids. But at the granular kid level, there's not a lot of opportunities for kids to meet and interact and compete and collaborate with kids from other schools. And so we found this to be an opportunity to do that.
You mentioned something earlier about like the academic benefits or the benefits of sports to an academic environment. Can you talk to me more about how do sports or this idea of athleticism, how does that impact an academic environment?
Yeah, that's a great question. So our mission is truly to develop youth, the whole kid, using sports as a tool to do that. And some of the outcomes and the ways that we as an organization desire to measure that and to develop these kids is through increasing their motivation to excel academically. So all of our schools that participate and partner with us, they have weekly grade checks. So the kid can't participate on the game on Wednesday if they have missing assignments or if their grade is below a certain standard. And so we've seen in real time, kids are turning in their assignments and running up to coaches and saying, I can play this week because I'm meeting these expectations. And the same thing with behavior and leadership. We're seeing an improvement across the board. I believe it was 91% of our schools and our kids reported improved behavior. 95% reported increased academic motivation, and establishing those peer relationships as well in opportunities outside of the classroom. So those are the ways that we're kind of measuring the impact of our programs, in addition to the confidence and self-esteem of the individual kid, because these are really opportunities where, maybe they don't excel in the classroom, but they shine on the basketball court, or they're an exceptional runner, and really increases their confidence and their opportunity to feel good about themselves and something they're doing.
So how did you choose to start with the 4 sports that you chose?
All 4 of those sports have a low cost of entry. There's minimal barriers for our programs to sustain them. So, when we're starting an organization, we're looking at all of the upfront costs that that our schools are facing. And so, cross country, you need a place to run outside, and you need somebody to organize it. And so, just the costs and the barriers were low for all of those 4 sports. In addition to, those are the sports that the kids want to participate in. In our first year, we had 87% of the kids reported trying a sport for the first time. So not only that, we're trying to encourage kids to play multiple sports and try new things, because it's really important. Even if, they end up playing one sport professionally or in college, but all of those skills translate and improve the whole kid. And so there's a shift in mentality towards this club sport, AAU sport, where you're trying to have to kind of pigeonhole yourself into choosing a singular sport, really early. And that's really a disservice to the kid and the whole development of that kid. And so we want to have kids, maybe they're an all-star basketball player, but if they tried volleyball, the footwork that you learn in volleyball translates and makes you a better player in basketball. And so kind of changing the narrative around what it means to be a multi-sport athlete and reiterating the importance of that.
So what is a well-rounded student athlete? Like, what are those characteristics? You talked a lot about leadership. You talked about this idea of accountability and students kind of being on top of it. So, like, how does this program build a well-rounded student athlete?
That's a very multifaceted question. Ultimately, we want the participants of City League to go out into the world, into St. Louis, and to know what their talents and their interests are, so that they can, for personal good and for greater good of the city, of the world. And that's our vision statement is, to empower youth to realize their personal talents and interests, so that personally they will develop and they'll make the world around them a better place. But that, in practice, that looks like being well-rounded in terms of, all of the intangible skills that you learn in sports, time management, showing up being respectful to the referees, problem solving, conflict management. There's so many components that are really intangible and immeasurable that you learn through experience on a court. And so those are the opportunities that we want to provide for kids so that they have that experience and then they can apply it to other areas of their lives.
So sometimes there's this negative connotation around having sports programs for Black and brown students, such as maybe they don't need more basketballs as a way to get out of their current environments. They need more books. They need more education. You spoke specifically around this idea of working with charter schools and then mentioned that the charter school that you started out with is no longer in existence. What's the value of this program to communities, to schools, when if you're working with charter schools, maybe the academic portion needs to be more focused on or things like that?
Ultimately, everything is a balance. So basketball is a way to capture the engagement, the excitement, and the energy of a kid and to serve as a tool that they can then apply to and motivate them, because it required in order to play basketball for our city league, you have to have met a certain standard of academic excellence. You have got to meet a certain standard of behavior excellence. And so we're using it as a tool to empower and to incentivize students to excel in this well-rounded way, academics, behavior, and leadership opportunities.
Do you feel like that's what sets your program apart from other sports-based programs or community sports programs?
Absolutely, yes. I think that's our biggest differentiator, is our relationship with the schools and the tie to all these components that we are able to empower kids to apply these skills that they're using on the court, in the classroom, and with their friendships, and in the cafeteria.
And you mentioned right now you work specifically with charter schools, correct? Right. How did these relationships come about, and what charter schools do you work with specifically?
Great question. It started, back in 2020, when we were kind of investigating what the direction of the program would look like. I approached a lot of the charter schools in St. Louis and just said, this is what we're looking to build. Do you want to be a part of it? And, it was really the ones that said, yes, we're fully on board, that came on board. And we supported 10 other schools in that inaugural year to launch full programs. And then since, I've just remained in contact with the school leaders and or athletic program directors of various schools, and continually inviting them into our program. We're seeing a lot of excitement and engagement from the students on social media. We're kind of building we have our season has a city championship, so a lot of excitement and just pride, right? So it's another way to show school pride. So we recently invited both KIPP middle schools will be joining our program, thanks to a grant from the Sci Foundation. So the more schools that we can get involved, the more opportunity we have to reach more kids.
So what does success look like for the students that participate in your program?
Success looks like growth, personal growth. And that can come in the form of excelling academically. It can come in the form of excelling on the court, and or kind of all of those things. Ultimately, going back to our mission, it's to develop the kid as an individual. And so it looks like success looks like growth and development on a personal level of each kid.
So what should parents be considering if they want to consider their kids playing sports?
The earlier that kids can have exposure to a sport, the better. Getting kids playing t-ball or soccer at 3 years old, 4 years old, there's a lot of scientific research about how that develops a kid neurologically, as well as all their gross motor skills. So the earlier that kids can start participating, there's a lot of community programs to be involved in, but really it's exposure to the sport as early as possible. The other thing to consider is the relationship to the school. A lot of schools that have well-established sports programs are also excelling academically, and there's a reason for that correlation. And so, when you're choosing a school, that's one thing to consider, is if they do offer extracurricular programs and what those programs look like. And you will find that correlation happens. The more successful academic schools have robust extracurricular programming as well.
So what do you think that one of the biggest challenges that is facing schools when it comes to athletics is in general in this current landscape, especially post-COVID?
Yeah, right. It's really capacity.
Mm-hmm.
The historical model of school sports has leaned on the schools to facilitate everything from an athletic director standpoint. And so what City League is trying to do is take 70 to 80% of that work and do that work for the schools so that the schools can focus on what they're doing with their kids when they have them in the building during the day.
Mm-hmm.
The biggest challenges are costs. Our schools are underfunded, equipment, and facilities. So a lot of charter schools exist out of pre-existing buildings, or not necessarily your traditional school building, and having inadequate gym facilities or recreational space where kids have access to play sports. And so, it's those issues that create more problems and more work for schools when they're already stretched so thin.
Speaking of cost, you mentioned earlier like a low barrier to entry to the 4 sports that you selected. How much does your program cost compared to a typical program for a family?
So we're unique in that we, City League, we do not charge the individual families. We charge a school fee for each team that they have participate in our program, and that really just goes towards the cost of officials and some of our programming development. So the individual schools can either fundraise and or charge whatever is most appropriate for their communities. What we ultimately are working towards is we want to make sports free for everyone. And so as we continue growing through our programming, and we have a 3-phase vision for growth, what we are reaching towards is making it free and accessible for everyone. And that includes transportation, because that's another big barrier for families, because parents often can't leave work to take their kid to their sports practice. So we want to provide a central location where we can create robust programming that removes all of those barriers for the families.
Do you anticipate always being a middle school based program? You mentioned that earlier you start the better. So are there plans to expand in terms of the age ranges that you serve?
There's definitely opportunity to incorporate leagues for elementary school, and that'll be the first direction that we expand. There's also a lot of opportunity to include high schoolers who have been through our programming in terms of volunteering and refereeing and having leadership opportunities to come back and be a part of our program. A lot of the high schools in St. Louis already have established robust high school programming, which is why we focused and started in middle school. Because if they're learning how to play basketball as a 9th grader, or learning how to serve the volleyball, they're 10 years behind a lot of the kids that have had the opportunity and that early exposure. So our programming is first focused towards middle school, but then we'll expand into the elementary level.
And how do you connect to schools? You mentioned you had a solid group going into the pandemic. How do schools find you? How do schools sign up to be a part of this program?
Yeah, so that's a great clarification. So, an individual family doesn't come to us and register to participate. We are open to including, we're not necessarily looking to grow in this year because we're kind of in our foundational year and we're building a lot of the infrastructure of an organization. But we are looking to grow. And so if a school approaches us and says, we want to put together an athletics program, we are more than willing to welcome them into our programming. Our website is a great tool to register and reach out to us, and we work with school leaders to facilitate the relationship.
What gives you hope for the city of St. Louis and the programs that you're putting out?
There's so much to be hopeful about in the educational landscape in St. Louis. I went from working with one school to now seeing how 13 different schools are running and operating and being a partner to them. And there's so many passionate people who are dedicating so much of their time, their resources, and their experience to making St. Louis better. And so it brings me great hope to be a part of that and to see, how many people are dedicating themselves and their work to making St. Louis better.
That sounds so great. So how do people follow your journey with City League?
You can follow City League on Instagram. We're STL City League. Our website is stlcityleague.com. That has a number of resources to get in contact with us if you're interested in becoming part of our program, as well as learning more about our policies and all the things that we are looking to do as we grow and establish ourselves here in the St. Louis nonprofit ecosystem.
Awesome. Thank you so much for talking to us today, Allison. I look forward to having you back, especially when City League blows up. I think that you have some really exciting plans for the program. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll catch you on the next episode of Navigate STL Schools, a podcast.